Happy welcome children. This is Lavanya. In the previous class we have discussed about different types of soil nutrients, like where we have discussed about macronutrients and micronutrients, and even we have discussed about crop rotation, mixed crops, etc. And in today's class let us discuss about root nodules in leguminous plants. And leguminous plants, best examples are which contains rhizobium bacteria. Best examples for leguminous plant is groundnut, jethropa, etc. Pea plants, these all comes under best examples for leguminous plants. And these leguminous plants contains root nodules in which the rhizobium bacteria, a type of bacteria which is helpful to increase the nitrogen content in the soil. The root nodules of leguminous plants contains rhizobium bacteria. It not only absorbs the nitrogen from the soil and from the atmosphere, it also add back the nutrients into the soil after the harvesting of these leguminous plants. After cutting down the crop of these leguminous plants, the roots remain in the soil and they add back the nitrogen to the soil and they increases the fertility of the soil and availability of nitrogen to the soil. And this nitrogen fixing bacteria, which is also called as rhizobium bacteria, it undergoes mixotrophic nutrition. Like this bacteria is a type of useful bacteria which remains in the roots of the leguminous plants, which doesn't cause any harm to the plant. It absorbs the nutrients and it supplies nutrients to the crop, and this leguminous plant, it gives a shelter to the bacteria, so where both the organisms survive by benefiting each other. Such type of nutrition is called as a mixotrophic nutrition. And this mixotrophic nutrition, which we observe in these root nodules of leguminous plants, is mostly helpful and it is more advantageous for availability of the nitrogen in the crops. And this at the time of crop rotation process, this leguminous plants are grown after every crop. That crop which is grown after this leguminous plants will be more beneficial in absorbing more amount of nitrogen from the soil. In this way, these root nodules in leguminous plants are helpful not only for increasing the fertility of the soil, it also helps in increasing the nitrogen content in the soil, which is a type of macronutrient of among the soil nutrients. And nowadays it is also available, that is a bacterial culture. A type of bacterial culture is also available which is mixed with the seeds to increase or to produce more nodules in the roots. If more nodules are produced in the roots, then automatically more amount of nitrogen content is absorbed from the soil, which is helpful to increase more fertility in the soil. So like that this bacterial culture is helpful in this manner. And even a type of blue-green algae, okay, it is mixed in the rice fields to increase the fertility of the soil and to increase the productivity in the fields, rice fields. So this blue-green algae not only helpful to increase the fertility of the soil and to increase the nitrogen in the soil, it also helpful to increase the productivity in the rice fields. So in this manner we can increase the nitrogen content in the soil by growing leguminous plants, but it is not possible for us to increase the potassium and phosphorus by growing these different types of crops like this. So such type of different types of nutrients can be tested whether they are present in the soil in a sufficient amount or not, can be tested in different types of centers like soil testing centers. These soil testing centers are available in different locations, which can also be called as Bhusaya Pariksha Kendram. So these soil testing centers are mostly meant, okay, to test the availability of nutrients in the soil, the composition of nutrients in the soil, whether the sufficient amount of nutrients are present in the soil or not, by different types of soil testing technologies. Agricultural officers, okay, will be suggesting the farmers, okay, to go for soil testing in the soil testing centers. So these soil testing centers will be collecting the samples of soils from the fields and they will be taken to the laboratory and they will be testing in the laboratory whether sufficient amount of macro and micronutrients are present in the soil or not. which is more beneficial for the farmer, where less expenditure, okay, where less utility of fertilizers can be observed by going with this soil testing centers, which is more beneficial for the farmers. And these experienced farmers, just they can identify whether the soil is fertile or not by just observing the soil color and texture of the soil. But every farmer cannot identify whether the soil is fertile or not. At these conditions, soil testing centers are available, which is more beneficial for the farmers who cannot identify the texture and color and fertility of the soil. They can go with these soil testing centers, which is more beneficial for observing different types of nutrients present in the soil, and even it is helpful to test whether the soil is fertile or not. And the next, along with these root nodules and leguminous crops, there are even dry organic manure is also a type of organic manure which is mostly essential for increasing the fertility of the soil. In this dry organic manure, it is made up of cow dung and hay, dry grass, and it is mixed with the urine of the animals and it is applied in the fields. Okay, it doesn't contain wet grass or wet dung of the animals. It contains a dry organic manure. It is helpful to increase the fertility of the soil. Along with this, there are some other organic manures. Actually, what is an organic manure? Organic manure is nothing but here where we will be observing a dead and decaying organic matter of plants and animals. Okay, dead and decaying organic matter of plants and animals, which increases the fertility of the soil and which increases the humus or topmost layer of the soil is called as a organic manure. Because of the presence of this humus is nothing but the topmost soil. The topmost layer of the soil is called as a humus. And that because of the presence of that healthy fertile humus, the water holding capacity in the soil is increased. This humus not only increases the fertility of the soil, it also increases the water holding capacity where water is absorbed in large quantities. Okay, and then next in this natural organic manure, it is classified into two types. Natural organic manure, it is actually classified into two types. One is concentrated organic manure and the other one is macro organic manure. Among these concentrated and macro organic manures, this concentrated organic manure is more nutrient, okay, when compared to that of macro organic manure. This concentrated organic manure consists of powdered groundnut, gingerly, castor, etc., neem seeds, jethropa seeds. Okay, all these different types of seeds are powdered and they are applied in the fields, agricultural fields. And these powdered seeds can also be used as food for cattle and poultry. It not only increases the fertility of the soil, it also increases the water holding capacity of the soil, it also increases the different types of nutrients in the soil and increases the productivity in agricultural fields. Okay, powdered groundnut, gingerly, castor, neem, jethropa seeds, etc. These all seeds are powdered and they are applied in the fields. Such a type of manure is called as a concentrated organic manure, where the nutrient concentration is high and it contains large amount of, even it contains a nutrient valuability is also more when compared to that of a macroorganic manure. And this macroorganic manure consists of excreta of animals, deep litter, compost, etc. Of course, it is also a type of natural organic manure, but when compared with this of that of a concentrated organic manure, this macroorganic manure contains very less amount of nutrients. Macroorganic manure constitutes excreta of animals, okay, dry plants and dead plants, deep litter, compost, etc. These are the two different types of natural organic manure. And the next one is green manure crops. This green manure crops also increases the fertility of the soil. Plowing back of these different types of plants into the field again is called as a green manure crops. Instead of if these green manure crops are not available, okay, we can even collect the green leaves of different plants like a neem, and even leguminous plants, and we can spread in the fields. Like green manure crops are like berseem, sunhemp, lobia, green gram, kulthi, etc. These all comes under green manure crops. And these green manure crops, when they are grown in the fields, after their harvest, again they are plowed back into the field. When they are plowed back into the field, they decompose in the soil and they increase as the fertility of the soil. In this way, these green manure crops are also helpful to increase the fertility of the soil. Most of these green manure crops also belongs to these leguminous plants, which increases more fertility of the soil. In this manner, these all are the different types of soil nutrients which increases the fertility of the soil, which also comes under organic or natural manures. This organic and natural manures increases fertility of the soil and increases the productivity of the soil when compared with that of a chemical fertilizers. So in this natural organic manure, in the next class we shall learn about how this compost is prepared, vermicompost is prepared, and how this panchagavya is prepared, how it is helpful to the crops to increase the productivity. By this we have completed in today's concept this natural organic manure we have completed. In the next class we shall continue with the vermicompost and preparation of vermicompost. Thank you.